Third down and 4. Howell in trouble. Down he goes. Jones throws. It's a shot. It's caught by Hawkins for the touchdown. Here comes the pressure. Pinnock on a blitz. And the Giants get there. Four-man rush this time. Taylor taking a deep shot behind. Separation. Third and goal. Taylor to the end zone. Touchdown! With Barkley back at tailback, they hand to him. Edge. Touchdown Giants. And a nice made that bad last stop, so he's back in there. Third down and 7. Play action from DeVito. End zone. Catch is made. Touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins. The end zone, and let's make sure the catch is good. And it's points off the turnover by Keyshawn Nixon. Family section. And his agent. This guy, the agent may break the internet.
The heck's going on?
They having kisses everywhere.
And of course, freaking the second time we use this video intro, the agent gets fired. I'm just kidding, no. Yeah, so apparently Tommy DeVito.
I
Yeah.
just can't take Tommy DeVito's agent seriously. I laugh every time I see him.
Dude, he's a character. I mean, obviously, if you guys may not have heard yet, he has been, I guess, replaced for off-field activities that Tommy DeVito is going to be participating in, but not that crazy important right now. But he's still going to be the agent, but just not for off-field activities.
Yeah, marketing agent.
There you go. There you go. Well, anyways, welcome to the Back to the Backup podcast, baby. Episode 11 of our pod. Glad to be here. This is our third straight day with an episode. If you haven't already, check out our preview episode, which is yesterday with Eric Mulher of the South End Zone podcast, talking some college football.
Great show. Caught a little bit of it. Sounded great. Very interesting.
My guy. Thank you. Yes. So we hope you guys check that out as well. Today we got another show for you. We'll take you for the next half hour or so. So for you guys on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X/Twitter, we appreciate you all for stopping by. First up on the slate is the arrest of Derrick Ward. Now, for those of you who don't know who the hell Derrick Ward is, or maybe have some recognition of him, but just don't know who he completely is, Derrick Ward was a running back for the New York Giants from 2004 to 2008, played 51 games in the regular season for us, had 1,750 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns as a Giant. Didn't do much for us in the postseason back in 2008. However, most of us, like myself, know him for just being a backup to Brandon Jacobs, or Matt Bradshaw, or whatever the case may be. I believe the depth chart was Jacobs, Ward, and Bradshaw.
Yeah, because Bradshaw didn't he got really good in the week 16 game against Buffalo. That's where he went off. That was his coming out. Was that?
Yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, he wasn't the main backup to Jacobs, but Ward was on the roster when the Giants won Super Bowl 42. But apparently he has been arrested, which was kind of weird to see. He was involved in, according to NBC News, robberies of at least 5 businesses, including gas stations. He is not accused of using a firearm during any of these crimes, but he's, as of today, I haven't heard any update yet, but as of yesterday, he was held in a Los Angeles jail after he was booked on a felony charge. His bail is set at $250,000, which ironically could be easily paid for.
He'll pay that by tomorrow.
Yeah, but
or get in his bank account.
Exactly. So I'm not sure if there's any updates as of right now. But yeah, 5 robberies, man. Or at least 5 robberies, I should say. So yeah, quick thoughts on that, I guess. I
don't get Derrick Ward's not the first athlete to get arrested for robbery or arrested for something stupid like this. He unfortunately won't be the last. My big thing is, why, if you're a professional athlete, especially if you're someone that won a Super Bowl with a team like the Giants, why is this something you resort to? If you're I don't know why he committed robberies, but my guess is it's something to do with he needs money. Go be a coach. Go do appearances. Go do autograph signings. Any bar will pay you to come sit and watch the game with people. Like, there's other things you can do and market yourself as a Super Bowl champion for the New York Giants that will make Giant fans pay to go see you. Like, it's just, come on. Like, let's be a little smart here. Market yourself. Don't rob people.
Exactly. And then, he was known as part of the wind of the Earth, Wind, and Fire trio of the backfield of Jacobs. So Brandon Jacobs was Earth, Derrick Ward was the wind, and Ahmad Bradshaw was the fire. That's what they called themselves, Earth, Wind, and Fire, if that even makes sense.
Yeah.
Ward didn't play in the Super Bowl 42 because he broke his leg in the regular season. So that's why we did not see him on the field for that big game. Didn't need him anyways. Jacobs and Bradshaw got the job done when necessary. And, we ended up winning that game. So, Derek, hopefully things work out, I guess.
I guess.
Once a Giant, always a Giant. So we got to make sure you're going to be okay. But, man.
This is a lesson. This is a lesson to all potential athletes, current athletes. 1, be smart with your money. And 2, don't rob people when you need money. Do something else.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. For sure. But yeah, that's the first topic we want to discuss real quick. And then we will get to the other topic, which is the Giants and some special teams issues, especially the kicker position. I want to address that probably as the last topic of the show. But I want to dive in real quick to Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets. Obviously, the Jets are the Giants' neighbors. We share the same stadium, which sucks, which actually is, is a bad thing in my opinion. Like, I feel like every team should have their own stadium. Every team should have their own stadium.
Mm-hmm. There's enough spaces in New York to build a stadium. Build one. Mm-hmm. Find a spot and build it.
You think there's space like in New York, or just New Jersey?
Yeah, they probably where the Islanders are playing. There's probably space over there. Mm-hmm. Near City Field, there's probably some space they could build a stadium. They could find a borough and build a stadium there.
Works for me. Regardless, though, and hopefully that gets done eventually. Like, I
think ownership will have to change for the Jets first. The Johnsons are going to have to sell a team before they build the stadium.
I was going to say, shouldn't the Giants get first priority? Like, we actually done something in the past 15 years.
No, yeah, but the Giants are gonna stay with MetLife because their training complex is literally across the street. Like, the Giants are pretty set up there.
Oh, okay. So it's more like the Jets would be the ones to.
I mean, like, I would love the Giants to move because I think MetLife is in the NFL. I would love to get a new stadium somewhere in New York, but the Giants are pretty settled there, pretty cemented.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I bring up the Jets because, as we all know, quarterback Aaron Rodgers was he was going to be the guy this year for the Jets, and he only played. He was in 4 plays, and
75 seconds.
Yep, that's I mean, let's look at it. Look into it real quick. His play is considered of being sacked by. No, the first play was a sack. No. Mm-hmm. Yes. No. The first play of his Jets regular season career was a handoff to Breece Hall for 26 yards. Then he had 2 incomplete passes, and then he got sacked by Leonard Floyd. On my notes, I put Leonard Williams, so. Oops. Yeah. But as I was looking at my notes, I was like, wait a minute, why did it say Leonard Williams? That was Leonard Floyd. And then obviously the sack by Leonard Floyd was the cause or the culprit behind the Achilles injury. And after that, we did not see him for forever, actually. We seen him on the sideline as a coach or as just being there. But other than that, he hasn't stepped on the field for this Jets team. It's mostly Zach Wilson or Trevor Siemian or Tim Boyle, who's gone now. And just a bunch of quarterbacks for the Jets. And I bring Rodgers up because he talked about basically being out the rest of the year. He basically ended all speculation as of yesterday that he was just done for the year. There was no chance he was going to come back. He talked about on the Pat McAfee show how he was still 14 weeks away or 14 weeks today from his surgery, and being medically cleared wasn't just realistic. So I don't know, when I read that or heard of it, part of me was like, what if the Jets were still in playoff contention? Would he say that still?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Not a shot. He would have pushed himself to come back if the Jets were in a playoff spot.
So he's kind of using this as because if the Jets, let's say as of Sunday, the Jets were still in it, he would have been like, okay, yeah, I'm good to go. But yeah, you're probably right. So yeah, I guess many thoughts on a very short first season for Rodgers.
This is the best move for the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. All right, Aaron Rodgers under no circumstance should have played this season after tearing his ACL. Not his ACL, his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's wanting to rush back. I know he wanted to be competitive, but seeing something with Aaron Rodgers that we've never seen before. No one has ever recovered from an Achilles injury as fast as Rodgers has. If you're going to put him out there in a meaningless game, it's possible that Achilles injury is re-aggravated and he has to miss time next season. The smartest move for the Jets, who claim they're a quarterback away from being a legit contender, sit Aaron Rodgers, get this roster even better in this offseason and next draft, and go into the next season ready to roll with a fully healthy Aaron Rodgers. That's the best case scenario for the Jets.
Yeah, and the way you said that the Jets are a quarterback away makes me feel like there's a few positions that you think the Jets should upgrade. What should those positions be?
Definitely offensive line to protect Rodgers a little bit more. I would say maybe linebacker. That's probably about it.
Okay. Especially offensive line. This season, the Giants have allowed the most sacks with 76, but the next closest is the New York Jets with 73. So definitely offensive line is something to address for sure.
Yeah. Secondary too. You have Sauce Gardner, but outside of that, it's kind of a lot of questions. So I would add some depth. Not like a big focus, but just bring in some depth pieces that if something would happen, someone's there to fill the void.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Gardner and DJ Reed, I think is his name. The two corners. I mean, the more help you can add on the secondary, the better. Because you're a pretty solid defense as it is. But definitely, I think for me, offensive line is probably the best, or not the best, but the main concern. Because when Rodgers does come back next year, you really got to protect him. And can you really rely on Mekhi Becton? Can you really rely on Elijah Vera Tucker to stay healthy? No. That's the thing. So something to address there for sure. Rodgers talks about how he wants to be effective into his 40s. He wants to promise the Jets at least two more years with them before making his next decision. That's what he talked about on the show with Pat McAfee as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think that a couple more years to be 41, 42.
Yeah.
You think he can play till he's 45 like Tom Brady did, or?
We just don't know.
Don't know. Okay, it's too
Aaron
early.
Rodgers, we saw maybe a little bit. It wasn't a major regress, but there was some regression in his play when he played in Green Bay, his final season. And then we don't know what he's going to look like coming off his injury. Rodgers has downplayed it, but an Achilles injury is a very serious injury for any player, not to mention a almost 40-year-old quarterback. Is he going to still be the same dynamic player now that, he's got a surgically repaired Achilles?
Mm-hmm.
The only we're going to know is when he takes snaps next year.
Yeah. And, he got the surgery pretty fast and going through rehab pretty fast as well. So, I mean, I think for me, the fact that he's already recovered at this point in time, even when it would take athletes forever to recover from an Achilles injury, I think he's ahead of schedule, I think, for next season. But I kind of wish we could see him play this year, but
everyone wanted to see Rodgers was the number one story this offseason was Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, and then we were kind of robbed of that storyline this year. What's Rodgers gonna do with the Jets? I don't know. He got hurt 75 seconds into his tenure.
He was activated off the injury reserve list today, but it's mainly just to practice. So.
Yeah, I think he'll probably be the emergency quarterback. If Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle both get hurt, then maybe we'll see Rodgers, but I seriously doubt those two will go down.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
In terms of all that. So Rodgers get better, man, and we'll see you next season. And hopefully we'll have an offensive. Oh, not we, but hopefully the Jets will have an offensive line to protect you. And And honestly, I think Rodgers, if they get the good, solid pieces around him, he'll be up for MVP next season. I feel like,
Oh,
but only
definitely.
if, only
But
if.
with Garrett Wilson, they'll have Randall Cobb, who has a better connection with Rodgers than Zach Wilson does. They'll have trying to think of who else their receivers are that they're going to upgrade. All the receivers Rodgers brought in will act. Allen Lazard will actually have decent seasons because they're playing with a quarterback they're supposed to play with.
Exactly. So, I expect them to definitely, if all things go well, just be up there for the conversation of MVP. And yeah. Well, speaking of MVP, this year has been very crazy in terms of the MVP conversation. We've had guys like Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill show up as guys that could potentially ruin the streak of having quarterbacks win MVP all the time. We know about the Dak Prescotts and the Tua Tagovalovas and the Josh Allens and the Patrick Mahomes of the world, Lamar Jackson too. But McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill have made their case as well. One guy that we haven't really talked about as much, or actually is very debated about when it comes to the MVP conversation, is Brock Purdy, who, as we all know, is the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, who, by the way, lead the NFL with the best record at 11-3. Yeah, this is despite being atop of most categories from a passing standpoint, many people don't believe that he should win the MVP award. So let me ask you this, Brian. Is Brock Purdy your MVP?
For me, no.
Okay.
Brock Purdy he's a good quarterback, but he is a game manager and is a product of Kyle Shanahan's system. When you have weapons like Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, anyone can succeed in that offense. Like if you take Brock Purdy off the Niners and put in any other quarterback, the Niners are probably still winning the NFC West this year and are probably not, if not one, the 2 seed in NFC West. Like Brock Purdy's just a very replaceable piece. Now that's nothing wrong with Brock Purdy. He's playing the role he's supposed to play. It's just not, he doesn't bring the most value to the team. There's other players on that roster that are much more valuable. Like if you take off Christian McCaffrey, take off Deebo Samuel, the Niners would suffer way more than if you take off Brock Purdy.
100%. I mean, for me, McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, those are pivotal pieces to have around your offense. But I was doing some research, and I keep thinking about, when it comes to the Brock Purdy MVP conversation, I go back to when Jimmy Garoppolo was a quarterback. If you erase his 2021 Garoppolos, where he completed 68% of his passes for 3,800 yards and 20 touchdowns, you look at his 2022, he had the same weapons, right? 67%, 67 completion percentage, 2,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Great. And I understand he got hurt and whatever, and that's when Brock Purdy came in. When you think of Garoppolo, right, you would think that the narrative of putting any quarterback in the Shanahan/Niners system, you can succeed. I understand that. However, you look at, how do I say this? Brock Purdy is the MVP because Garoppolo couldn't put the numbers up that Purdy could have.
Right.
Because let's look, for example, right? We know about Garoppolo this season when playing with the Raiders, right? Had 9 interceptions, 7 touchdowns. Even back when he was with the 49ers, he had that 12 interception season in 2021. In 2022, he had only 16 touchdowns, but there were games where it was like, okay, he only has 1 touchdown and maybe having an interception, or maybe he has no touchdowns. What I'm trying to say is that I don't believe that you can just put any guy in the Niners system and you can succeed. You have to have someone, just someone that's actually good. Because I'm looking at Garoppolo. Let's look at his regular season last season, right? When he was with the 49ers, right? He had yardage totals of 154, 211, 239, 253. There you go. 296, 303. But after that, it was just a par of 220, 230s. And you add in the touchdown factor, it was like 0 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. It's just he's the Garoppolo's the type of quarterback where he'll give you like a touchdown or 2, but that's all he'll do. And that hurt the Niners last year because when they had to face the Falcons, when they had to face the Chiefs, they only put up 14 points against the Falcons when they lost 28-14. They only put up 23 points when they faced the Chiefs, and obviously the Chiefs game, you could say, oh, you could blame the defense. I understand that, but at the same time, when you have to play in shootouts like you did against the Chiefs, you got to score points, and 23 points wasn't good enough to beat the Chiefs on that day. Also, looking to the Week 3 game last year against Denver, right? You only put up 10 points. Why did you put up 10 points? Because your quarterback was trash. Garoppolo only had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 211 yards passing. This Niners team, and also we saw this completely 100% last year. When you took out when Brock Purdy got hurt against Philadelphia, you put in Josh Johnson. The narrative is like, oh, you could put anyone in the system, right? And they succeed. Okay, then why didn't Josh Johnson succeed as well? And I know I'm rambling and everything. It's just that just like you, I feel like I've always been a bit of a doubter with Brock Purdy. I was always like, okay, well, let's see him succeed when he doesn't have the weapons around him. And I really thought about it. And I was like, well, shouldn't any quarterback struggle when they don't have their best weapons? And is it Purdy's fault that he's not? Is it Purdy's fault that he's surrounded with weapons? No, right?
No, it's not his fault. It's a great GM and coaching job by John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan that they've been able to build this roster that fits Purdy perfectly. Now, we'll never know how good of a quarterback Purdy is until he's taken out of it. And like Tom Brady, we never knew, was Tom Brady a system quarterback or was he really that good? We learned when we went to Tampa Bay, oh, he actually is that good of a quarterback. So we'll never know it with Purdy because I don't think the Niners are ever going to let him leave. But no, he fits perfectly what Kyle Shanahan's trying to do.
Yeah. And I think that the main narrative that I want to get across is that the whole dink and dunk screen short passes is the reason why he's succeeding. I feel like that's not 100% true. I dived into his in-depth stats or advanced stats yesterday. Yeah. But first, let me start with real quick. Let me start with the usual statistics we see on an everyday basis. He's second in passing yards, second in completion percentage. His 9.9 yards per pass is first in the league. 29 touchdowns this year, which is first with just 7 interceptions. So he's not turning the ball over. He's making smart decisions. He has a 76.0 QBR, which is first. For those of you who like quarterback ratings or just passer rating, I should say it's 119, which is first. And here's where we go to the in-depth stats. He's 5th in Pro Football Focus, which is behind Josh Allen, Prescott, Tua, and Mahomes. Mahomes doesn't make sense, but whatever. His completion percentage against man defense is 64.4%. That is first in the league. Now, you want to put zone defense, it's 68.9% is his completion percentage, which is good for 13th best in the league. Yeah, you could say, you would think we could, if we put zone coverage against Purdy, we'll be okay. Not the case.
Not necessarily. You'd just be a little better off than if it was man.
Exactly. His passer rating is first against man, and his passer rating against zone is third, which was actually shocking, right? And so I think to myself,
that's pretty crazy, actually.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if maybe people are right? He's just a dink and dunk guy in terms of just short passes and letting his guys run after the catch. His deep ball accuracy is out of 10, I think, is 6.7. That's third best in the league. His deep ball completion percentage is 58.5%, which is also first in the league. Now you want to bring up play action and red zone completion percentages. They're all first in the league. Oh my God. He's only had just 10 interceptable passes, which is 25th, which is 7th best,
10
basically.
Interceptable passes. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know who keeps track of these stats, but shout out to the website I found this from.
My big question is, how do you tell what is an interceptable pass?
Probably when
criteria is for that one.
That's true.
It's an very interesting stat. Don't get me wrong. Just what separates one pass from another pass?
maybe if it's like in the vicinity of a defender that could have picked it
Yeah.
off, and there's I don't know. Let's see his EPA. So basically expected. What the hell was EPA? Oh my god, I just lost it. Hold on. EPA was I had it yesterday. What the hell is EPA? We need the Jeopardy song.
EPA, expected points added.
There you go. So thank you very much. Expected points added is 195.7, which is first among all quarterbacks. So here's the thing. You can talk about dink and dunks and short passes all. You can talk about the weapons that Brock Purdy's had. But he's getting the ball. You have to have a quarterback that can get the ball these receivers, or to get the ball to these receivers. And look, Garoppolo, he was just a game manager for the 49ers.
Yeah.
He's always
Purdy is too, which like a game manager is not a bad thing per se. There's a lot of good quarterbacks that are quote unquote game managers. Like I would say Jared Goff's a game manager, Kirk Cousins a game manager. Trying to think of other ones come to mind. But like there's nothing wrong being a game manager as long as you surround them with the right pieces, which the Niners have had that elevates Purdy's ability.
Yeah, I think for me, I just think Purdy is a top 10 quarterback. I mean, I understand it. Like, oh, you don't have Debo, you don't have Trent Williams. I know your statistics suffered during that time, especially during that 3-game stretch where they lost 3 straight in a row to Cleveland, Minnesota, and Cincinnati. You look at the stats streak. He's had 5 interceptions there in that span compared to 3 touchdowns, which is pretty bad. I get that, but at the same time, you could factor in the whole. Okay, he had a concussion at one point. You could factor in the weather in Cleveland. That was a bad game. It's. I just don't think that we should be calling Purdy a game manager. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe when the time comes and what's it called? And maybe if, God forbid, one of these star players get hurt, and Debo or Christian McCaffrey and Ayuk, then the people will come and say, "Oh, well, maybe Purdy doesn't succeed very well when he doesn't have his key weapons." And to combat that, I say, okay, well, look at Patrick Mahomes. He didn't have Tyreek Hill last year.
No,
he still
doesn't have him this year.
Jeez. Yeah, he still doesn't have him this year, and look at him now. Yeah. He's struggling. So it's like
he's ready to murder Kadarius Toney.
Oh, dude, he wants to fucking kill him. Like, bro, you keep dropping passes like this, no fucking way I want to throw the ball to you. And that's the thing, because if we say that Purdy's just a game manager, then what's Patrick Mahomes if he can't do anything with the guys he has?
True. I think Mahomes adds another layer because of his mobility and stuff. Like, I don't see Purdy as a scrambler, whereas I see Mahomes can get it done with his feet. Like, Mahomes can make the dynamic play when needed to. I don't know if Purdy has that ability to take the game into his own control and elevate it all by himself.
Mm-hmm. And, that's not to say, obviously, that Purdy doesn't have legs.
It's not saying he doesn't have it. I just don't know if it's there when he doesn't have the superstars around him. Like, we know Mahomes has it because we're seeing it right now. Like, yeah, it's Travis Kelce, but he also has Kadarius Toney and Rashid Rice and Valles-Scantling. Like, not great receivers, and he's still putting the Chiefs in a good position to win. Purdy, we just don't know that yet.
Okay, and I mean, we hope that we don't have to find that out.
I hope we never have to find out.
Exactly, because he's doing great. Like, he's throwing 3 to 4 touchdowns a game. He's leading his offense to multiple scoring drives every season, especially during that after the losing streak, after the bye week, they came back and they just demolished Jacksonville. They beat Tampa, they beat Seattle, they beat Philly, they beat Seattle again, they beat Arizona, and in each one of those games, he's done a hell of a job. I mean, he's throwing for 300 yards a game almost during that span. Mm-hmm. He's doing a hell of a job, and we just hope that we don't have to see him without a Debo or an Ayuk or whatever the case may be, because the offense is more exciting with those guys, and the depth behind them is a bit concerning. But just based off what we've seen statistically from Purdy and the way he's throwing the football, his ability to hit deep passes down the field, to be even under pressure, figuring out how to escape and still make plays down the field. He's a solid guy. I do believe that he deserves the MVP award over a Mahomes or a Tua or a Prescott and a Josh Allen. Not to mention they're 11-3. If it weren't for the concussion injury against Minnesota, if Jake Moody hit the fucking field goal to beat Cleveland, they could be 13-1 as we speak. But unfortunately, that isn't the case because. But the 49ers, man, they're putting up points on a consistent basis. I mean, especially during this winning streak, 34 points, 27, 31, 42, 28, 45. Unbelievable. And, of course, you can give credit to the defense for maybe scoring a couple touchdowns during that span. I don't know exactly, but I do know this. Purdy's done a hell of a job leading this offense. And we just hope that he continues this, and hopefully they clinch the number 1 seed so they can rest everyone before the playoffs. But just want to get off my chest about Purdy.
Yeah. This is what the show's supposed to do.
Exactly. Like, I'll admit I was the guy to say, oh, he's just a game manager. Let him. Let's see what he does without his weapons. But at the same time, we can't control that. And statistically, he's doing a hell of a job, regardless if he has the weapons or not. Whether it's, like I said, completion percentage, deep ball accuracy, expected points added, or whatever the case may be, he's doing a hell of a job. So shout out to Purdy, and then yes, I do believe he is the MVP in my eyes. Who is yours though? If it's not Purdy, who is it?
I think it's McCaffrey.
I
think it's Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, Purdy did say that McCaffrey deserves the award more than he does, so kind of shows the humbleness that that the quarterback has, and McCaffrey's not a bad choice either. Honestly, no. He's literally the engine. Kind of, it's what we want Saquon Barkley to be.
Exactly. Yeah. I think McCaffrey's what Saquon could be if you took him off the Giants and put him on a team with a good offensive line and stuff and surround him with the right pieces. He could be a McCaffrey-esque back.
Exactly.
He just doesn't have that infrastructure in the Giants right now.
No offensive line, no weapons outside of him. It's literally it's Saquon Barkley and nobody else, as it's been for the past couple of years, 2-3 years.
Because don't forget, when McCaffrey was in Carolina, what was the big thing around him? He's a good back. He just can't stay healthy. What's the biggest knock on Saquon right now?
Yeah, I mean, basically. And even when he is healthy, the offensive line doesn't want to block for him because we saw against New Orleans, right? 9 carries for 14 yards. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Giants, so shout out to Purdy. Good luck, man. Hope you win MVP. If not, McCaffrey deserves it too. Everyone else, you can go kick rocks because none of y'all deserve. Well, maybe Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek has a case, but he needs to get healthy and play.
Then that's the bad thing too. Like, you got to win the MVP, you have to stay healthy, and if you can't control that either too, it just sucks.
Injuries are freak. You could be walking one day and all of a sudden your knee just bends the right way and pop.
Boom. Exactly. But yeah, shout out to those guys, man. Hope we'll see what happens with the MVP race. And then before we go, I want to discuss the Giants and our kickers because what the fuck? I mean, look, I understand it. We had that game winner against Green Bay with Randy Bullock, and we all went crazy and yada yada yada. Shout out to Tommy DeVito for leading that drive with Wan'Dale Robinson to get us close enough. Yes, sir, indeed. But we still have a kicker problem because Graham Gano came into this year, was 11 for 17. We signed him to that fucking stupid-ass contract extension for no reason, in my opinion, for no reason at all. He's a fucking kicker. You can figure it out. You can figure it out down the line, but why would you sign him? I don't know. And now you look like fucking idiots for signing to an extension because he got hurt. And by the way, costed us the game against the Jets because he wanted to play fucking hurt.
Yeah, want to play hurt and missed two field goals, not just one, two. Two field goals he missed. If he hits one of those, the Giants win that game. Exactly,
but unfortunately, he did not. And then we bring in Randy Bullock, right? Sure, that's great and all, but he's been 5 of 6 so far, which is not too bad considering, all things considered. But he's not. No way he's a kicker of the future.
No.
So what the hell do the Giants do at this point? Do you I don't know, let Gano go? Do you trust him to be back next year to be consistent and everything? Because it wasn't too long ago where Gano was like the best kicker one of the best kickers in the NFL, and now he's just.
Yeah, I think they'll bring back Gano just because of the contract extension and everything. I don't know what the dead cap situation is, but I know Joe Shane is going to want to help. He's preached about like having a healthy salary cap the entire time. He came in with a disaster Dave Gettleman left him with. So I really don't think they'll cut Gano. In my opinion, a kicker is a lot like a relief pitcher in baseball where you don't pay a reliever. You just get the next best one. A kicker in football, you don't pay a kicker. You just find the next best kicker. Now, that's normally a 7th-round pick or an undrafted free agent, but it's always about finding the next guy. I think the Giants should have gone that route. Maybe looked at, the 7th rounder this year or sign an undrafted kicker. Because we saw the kicker in Dallas. He was I believe he's like a 7th-round pick or something. He's been the best kicker all season. So it's not hard to find a kicker. Look in the right spot.
Yeah, Gano's cap number, according to overthecap.com, is $4,297,000, blah, blah, blah. But I'm looking at it here, and for some reason, when I
so if we cut him next year, it'd be $9 million dead cap.
This is why you don't fucking re-sign kickers. Okay, here we go. Yep. I see it. You're right. If the Giants cut him,
it's bad.
Pre June 1st, that's $9 million. You said $9 million?
$9 million. Yep.
Yep. $9 million in dead money. But I mean, you do save two. No, that doesn't outweigh anything.
If you cut him after the first, it's 7, and you don't save anything. So it's really cutting him. It hurts you more than it helps you. In terms of cap. If you
restructure his contract, you save about $2 million, but they're not going to do that.
No.
I don't understand why the fuck they didn't. Basically,
look for find kickers. And always find the next best kicker. Don't sign the kicker because normally they'll fall apart when you sign them.
Yeah,
unless you're Justin Tucker.
Yeah, I keep looking.
There are exceptions to every rule. Like, obviously, sign Mariano Rivera to an extension. You sign Justin Tucker to an extension.
Yeah, because I was looking at the screen. I was looking through like the different scenarios. Like, what if we cut him post June 1st or pre June 1st or trade him? There's really no win-win at all. So we're stuck. Would you draft a kicker?
Only in the 7th round. Only there's the kicking position has no value in it. There's other holes in this roster that are much bigger that deserve the premium draft picks. But if you're drafting a kicker not in the 7th, maybe 6th round, that kicker better be Justin Tucker. It's that simple. You raise a lot of resources on a kicker. It's not that important. It's not that important of a position.
I mean, good point. There's 2 kickers I have my eye on in this year's draft. Harrison Mevis from Mizzou, Missouri, and Will Reichert of Alabama. Love the Bama Crimson Tide. Mevis has a powerful leg. He was 24 or 30 this year on field goals, but he only missed 1 extra point this year. But Will Reichert, I think he's my favorite for sure. 20 or 23 this year on field goals. He's hit all of his extra points, 53 or 53. And when it comes to kicks over 50-plus yards, he is 3 for 3, which is way better than Mevis.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
If he's there, and instead I'm taking Riker, baby, and maybe put Gano just for kickoff or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do want a kicker. I just I know I may be overreacting over just one bad year of Gano and everything, but I'm sorry, dude. I didn't see why you resigned him. Or I don't see the reason why you resigned him this before the season started. And look, it fucking messed you up because now your cap space is legit a little messed up. And
it's not the worst thing in the world, but
no,
it's just not like for the Giants that are trying to get a healthy cap again. It's not something you need.
Definitely not. So we shall see with this, but just a mess right now. What's special? I mean, also it's not just the kickers. I mean, our punter's having a hell of a year. I mean, the man just Jimmy Gillian had to kick a fucking extra point.
And field goal. He looked a 40-yard field goal. Knocked it through, no problem.
Yeah. Well, why did I say extra point? We didn't even score a touchdown. I meant field goal. Oh yeah, fire the coordinator. What's his name? Thomas. Whatever.
Yeah, he's been there since Pat Shermer.
Jeez.
Him and Bobby Johnson are like cockroaches. They, for some reason, have survived 3 coaching regimes and just are not good.
They gotta go. If they're not fired by the end of the season, I don't know what to tell you. Or
I think they'll be fired. I'd be shocked if they're here. If they're here next year, then don't waste your time bringing in any one of those positions.
And obviously Dable has a relationship with Bobby Johnson, but there's no reason to just.
I know this is mean, but don't mix friends with business.
Exactly.
It's nothing personal. It's just about winning football games. Your performance is not helping this team win football games, so I want to bring in someone who's going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see. So we'll see with that, and we'll go from there. And I just hope the Giants figure the special teams, because as not crazy important as a position group it is, when it comes to the clutch moments, you need a dependable kicker. And can you really depend on Graham Gano or Randy Bullock? Not really.
And they're getting up there. Graham Gano is 38 right now. How many years do you realistically have left, especially after a surgery?
Yeah, you might as well draft a kicker now, or get a kicker now that's young, and have him just be the long-term guy for the next 5-10 years. But
yeah,
we will see. But like I said, I'll always dislike the extension of Graham Gano. Yeah. Alrighty, and I think that has covered everything I wanted to talk about today. Yes, sir, it has. Tomorrow, Thursday, was it Rams and Saints? Thursday night?
Yes, Rams Saints.
You know what I'm saying? So, we may be back tomorrow to discuss that. If not, we'll let you all know. I'll talk with Brian off. Well, I'll talk with you off air. I don't know why I'm calling you Brian. You're right here. It's Brian, why would I refer you in the third person? I'll talk to you about tomorrow, but if not, we'll have a guest on mañana or tomorrow, but we'll see what happens with that. But we covered everything. Aaron Rodgers, we covered the Derrick Ward situation.
Mm-hmm. We had a little breaking news while we were on. It's something crazy, but Oregon State and Washington State are joining the West Coast Conference. Just shows that the Pac-12 is officially dead. That's it.
For what? Football?
Basketball, all sports but football. I don't think they offer football.
So what the fuck are you gonna do for football?
Either become independent for a few years until they find the right conference, or try to revive the Mountain West, I guess, for football. I don't know.
Oh, hell no. That makes no sense.
It doesn't. I think this is just a desperation move for them. I think they have nothing, because nobody wants them. The only conference that wants them is the Mountain West, and I don't think they want to go to the Mountain West.
True. Yeah, it says right here on CBS, in football, Oregon State and Washington State already have a separate agreement in place for 2024 for football, from a football standpoint. But
has that been announced yet, or is it still?
It was announced on December 1st, I guess, according to the Mountain West official website. It says. Go ahead, but I'm sorry.
No, they must have some agreement with like they might become independent, or they might have what Notre Dame is, but they're independent, but they play 5 ACC schools. So was it really?
Yeah, it says it kind of feels like they're just independent, because it says next season all 12 Mountain West teams will play 7 traditional conference football games in addition to 1 contest against either Washington State or Oregon State for a total of 8 games. The games against Oregon State and Washington State will not count towards the conference standing. So now they're Pac-12 schools.
It's the agreement they have. It's the Notre Dame ACC agreement, just with the Mountain West and Oregon State and Washington State.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about conference realignment in your recent article, which I'm like,
with UConn,
yes sir.
Because UConn was originally what Washington State and Oregon State are going through right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess it's a good thing for Oregon State and Washington State. Now, I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world for them, because
they probably should just join the Mountain West full time with everything.
There's no point in staying.
I think the Mountain West is so much better than the WCC. So
why I didn't do it. I don't know why. But yeah, shout out to you for that. I didn't even know about that until now. So
yeah,
shout out
I
to
just
you.
saw the alert on my phone while we were recording, so
Oh.
figured throw it in at the end of the episode.
I love it. Well, y'all heard that, and what's it called? In that case, I think that'll do it for now. I will see y'all tomorrow. Not sure if Brian will, but I'm to be determined.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. You never know. But I will see you guys regardless tomorrow. Trying to get an episode out every day this week, and then until
next week's a little crazy.
Yeah, Christmas. Oh, that's the thing, because Christmas on Monday. So
Christmas
no episode Monday,
yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, no episode Monday for sure.
No episode Monday.
We'll probably be back Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
I like how we're giving our schedule out like hella early. Like, bro, today's only Wednesday. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Me and Brian should be back Friday for sure. Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of thing. And then we're off Monday because Christmas, and then we'll be back Tuesday to discuss more. But yeah, that's the future. We'll see you guys tomorrow for sure. Oh, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching and listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X/Twitter. No Instagram stream today. Sorry. And then you can catch the audio version of our episode on Spotify also today as well. And yeah, follow us on Twitter at BellyUpNate for any updates on our streams. Yep. And then, check out our articles on BellyUpSports.com. Brian just released a hell of a good one on UConn and confidence alignment. Love that one. Very, very fun to edit as well. And
thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Of course. Oh, one more shout out. If you all didn't check out our Giants Saints article yet, me and Brian worked on it together on what went right and wrong. That's all. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you guys tomorrow.